All right. All right. For those that are online, hopefully you can see we've had some technical difficulties here in the office, so I apologize, but I can send out this PowerPoint presentation to everybody as well, so that you have it that way if you can't see it, especially online here. So welcome to the Camp Amikaro 2019 Parent Leader Meeting. I'm Sarah Weiskup. I am the camp director this year. Amanda Barrett, who has been our acting program director the past few summers, is coming back this summer as well. She just couldn't be here today. She somehow made it out of the state and is heading, I think, towards the west somewhere. So she could not be here today, but we're going to kind of go through the classes that we have. And hopefully, if you don't have them, we have up here at the front the class catalog for this year. So we'll kind of go through that. And then we'll also, since we aren't at camp, hopefully pull up some pictures if you've never been to Little Sioux Scout Ranch, so you at least can see some of the property that way. Obviously with the flooding, that kind of prevents us from doing anything else. But if you do have questions throughout, feel free to raise your hand, let me know. This will be my first summer as a camp director. So it's fairly new to me, but I've been with the council now for a little over 5 years in a lot of different capacities. The most recent of that was as a district executive for the Black Hawk district. So summer camp, I'm really excited to get out there this summer and get things going. We've got some cool things planned. So yeah, I hope it'll be good. So I'll kind of walk over here. For those that are online, I'm gonna just step out of the frame for a second. Okay. So if you do have your class schedule, this is the most exciting part. So you will see we have a few changes this year. In terms of programming. Otherwise, if you've been to camp before, some of these areas will be pretty much the same. You can see here for aquatics, so we do offer boating out at camp. And so if you can see here, you have to pass a swim test. So all of our campers have to pass a swim test in the lake before they can do this. But we'll offer those during check-in on Friday night. So when you arrive out there, and get all settled in, we'll have a swim test option for you. For those that want to go fishing, you have to have adult supervision, which we do have staff at all these areas. So we'll have trained, paid staff helping you guys out. One thing we did talk about yesterday was having kind of like a worm garden this year. So instead of having like little worms in a bucket or something, we might have like a big worm garden that our campers can pull out of. So that might be fun. You can also see there again on the swimming test, we'll offer those at the beginning if you're interested. For those that don't want to do the swim test or that don't pass the swim test, you can still do fishing and some other activities around that area. But in order to do boating or swimming, you obviously have to pass that swim test. Oh, wrong one. Thank you. Oh, that worked perfect. Oh, that's much better. Okay. All right. Climbing. So yeah, so we have a climbing wall out at camp. So if you do like to climb up really high, we have that option available. So you'll see here, we offer in this area, you'll get to do a few different things. So obviously we have climbing. That's really dependent on the weather. So last summer, I know it was really rainy, and so there, you know, if it's really rainy, we can't really utilize the wall, but we offer a lot of other games in that area if that happens. And so one thing we're bringing back this year that's really exciting is a giant slip and slide. That was one of the first things that was brought up to me when I went to a PAC meeting recently. And a parent was like, is a giant slip and slide coming back? And so I was like, I will look into that. And so we're bringing that back this year. And I know not even like the kids are excited, but some of the staff members are really excited too. So that'll be really fun. We also have bubble balls. So if you've ever seen those giant soccer bubble balls that kids can go in, we offer those as well. And that's a really fun time. And then we're working on putting together an obstacle course. So we're fleshing out the details of that still, but we should have some type of like kind of cool obstacle course available to our campers that go through this area. But yeah, otherwise not too many changes to the wall. I keep wanting to go to the computer. All right, nature. So this is where we have just a few changes in the class schedule. Last year, our focus was really on conservation and bees, I believe. And so we're going to be offering this year, the theme is Under the Sea. And so we're really trying to tie in some of that aquatic kind of marine biology tie-in to this. And so you'll see kind of up here, one thing that really isn't changing is the trails, tails, and trees. This is just a 1 mile hike on the property. As the campers go through this, they get to knock out, they get to knock out some requirements. So in your guides, you'll actually see what those are, but we offer it for tigers, wolves, bears, and webelos. So that's a great way to get, especially for tigers, like my tiger jungle and tigers in the wild, a good way to get some of those knocked out while you're at camp. The other one we have on here is further down the trail. This is specific to our webelo campers. And so this is, like it says up there, it's a continuation of that initial trails, tails, and trees. So this will be they'll hike 2 more miles in addition to that 1 mile. So this is a little more intensive. It'll be kind of be a part of our Webelos Outback Adventure. And I think that you'll see that in one of the pages in your class catalog as well for a little more detail. But when the Webelos go through this, they earn a lot of different advancements. So this is a really great opportunity for them to come out for a weekend and then work with some of the staff members to kind of go on more of like a high, well, not a high adventure, but more of like an outback adventure that's kind of away from the rest of camp. Another thing that's new this year, we're going to be calling it Treasure Hunt. So we'll be getting we'll have compasses out at camp, and you'll get to learn some different orienteering techniques. And the goal here, as we're kind of working on it, the goal here is to go through some of the different parts of camp, and at the end of it, campers will find some hidden treasure or buried treasure somewhere. So fleshing out a few of the details there, but again, a good way to learn some of the orienteering while you're at camp. And then this one is our Habitation Home for All. So our area director, Steve, for nature, he is I believe a retired science teacher. So he has a really cool project for the campers this year, and they're going to be putting together fish habitats. So we'll have like a range of different kind of household materials. And while the campers are out there this summer, we're going to be building these little like pieces together. And at the end of summer, we're going to drop them in the lake out of camp. And so they'll actually be used for the fish and like all the other like aquatic wildlife out in the future. So that'll be kind of our conservation project for this year. Shooting sports. And I have some shooting sports guys here. I don't know if you guys want to jump in or say anything in the back there. But we do offer, when they come out to Little Sioux, we do offer archery, BB guns. We do have pellet rifles. Those are for webelos only. And then this year, something that's different. In the past, we've used wrist rockets, which is kind of the handheld slingshots. This year, we're getting a giant slingshot. So think kind of if you've been to Vala's, and they have like those, the Apple flinging station, I think. That's what we're working on to get out there this year. So hopefully that'll be really fun for a lot of the campers as well. No injuries, yeah. I don't know, do you guys have anything you want to add into that? No. You're good? Okay. All right.
I don't know if they're going to do the 2 BB gun ranges. One of them is going to be for fun, and the other one's going to be for the
right. Oh. Yes. Yep. They're kind of talking about that. Okay. All right. STEM. We also have some fun changes here this year, and I'm really excited because I love STEM. And so this area, this year you can see one of the first activities, and this is again in your class catalog, Operation Yellow Submarine. So this came to us from one of our returning camp staff members. He had put together an entire curriculum for this area. So with this, we're going to be turning one of our smaller buildings out at camp into an actual makeshift submarine, if you will. So the campers that go through this, we're going to get to learn all about ham radio. And we're going to be doing some cool different activities in here. But basically, we're going to try communicating to some different parts around the state. You know, it'll be kind of a fun different activity, I think, for us this year. Rad Robotics. This is a good bear advancement opportunity. So we have some robotics kits out of camp already. We're kind of looking into getting some different ones this year. I think some of the feedback we got last year was that some of them were kind of hard to assemble. And so we are looking into some different options there that'll still be really fun and educational for them. So we'll offer that again. And then Rocket Blast Off. This will be with the air rockets. And so with this, you can knock out tiger and wolf advancement opportunities. So that'll be fun as well. And then we also are going to have what we call structurally sound. And so we were discussing with all the flooding going on currently, this is kind of a relevant activity. So again, there'll be some household objects, and then the campers will get to work together to do some different engineering activities. And then we'll do some fun like games at the end to see whose structure holds up the best. With that. But that's what we have for STEM right now. So general camp program. So we always offer free time when you come out to camp. This is going to be available Saturday after our afternoon sessions. So in your parent, actually, I think in your parent leader guide, it will give you a full schedule breakdown of what the days will look like while you're out there. We'll also have free time Sunday after lunch. So a lot of these stations will all be open. So even if you missed getting it into your class schedule in the beginning, you can still go back and check out that area while you're there. Again, it says up here, watch campsite boards for specific details. And like I said, some of the activities are weather dependent, like lakefront and the climbing wall. Just keep that in mind. Campfires, we have one when you come in Friday night, and then we'll also have, that should say Saturday night. So we'll have one Friday and Saturday night. These will be really fun. We'll have all of our staff up there doing skits. We offer what people have s'mores and some other good stuff going on. For that first night, the Friday night, we are planning right now for those that are interested to do a night hike up through the Loess Hills. So we'll have staff guide that. So keep that in mind if you're out there and after campfire, you want to meet up and do that. Saturday evening after supper, we have the Scouts own service. And then we will also be offering a flag retirement ceremony, which is really cool if you've never seen one before. So that'll be some really, really fun stuff to have to go to. So how to prepare for camp. So you need to make sure that you have your medical forms and physicals all done prior to attending. So as it says up here, every camper, and that means any attending youth or adult leader or adult parent that's out there, they have to have a current BSA physical with parts A and B filled out. And we have these forms available for printout online in the registration system. Otherwise, we do have some paper copies down here in the lobby for those that need those. We will collect those at the beginning of check-in when you get to camp, and then you will get them when you check out. We have an on-staff camp medic at all times. That's locked in right now. His name is Randy Bolt, so he'll be out there every weekend with us. So if anyone needs that, then he'll be out there. Youth protection at camp. So every adult staying overnight at camp, you need to have current YPT. So hopefully for a lot, if you are a leader already, then you should be fine. We had that big changeover in October. And most people got updated then, but if you are staying overnight, we do ask that you complete YPT. And you'll have to provide when you check in a copy of that, or if we're doing it, you can kind of send it to me online too if you need to, but just know that you need that. Swim tests, I kind of talked about that in the beginning. We will start those Friday after you check in. Okay, we do accept complete pre-camp swim test forms. So if you have completed a swim test prior to coming out to camp, or maybe if you're coming later in camp and you went somewhere else and had to do a swim test, we will accept that. But as it says up there, if we notice that you're struggling, our staff members will probably pull you out and make sure that you're just in the right area. So is there any questions on that at all? Okay, registration calendar. We do still offer camperships, and those will cover up to half of the registration costs for any of our campers going out to camp this summer. And that's on both the troop side and the pack side. So for those kids going to Cedars, they can apply for these as well. The deadline for that's coming up, it's April 5th. And we have those online. They're a digital form this year. So if you go, I believe, to our camping page on the mac-bsa.org site, we do have a link on there that you can click on and submit that in there. Let's see, I'm missing a date there. The early bird registration deadline for our June sessions, I think that ends May 4th or 5th. I think so, yeah. Oh, 3rd, okay, yes, May 3rd, sorry. So yeah, May 3rd is when our early bird registration will end. And then June 1st is our t-shirt deadline for all sessions. And then for July sessions, it's also that June 1st date for the early bird to end. And then any registration will close 1 week prior to that weekend kicking off. So if you have any special needs request forms like dietary or medical related, please try to let us know as soon as possible so we can accommodate those campers. I know we have a few that have already reached out to us that we have maybe a camper going out in a wheelchair, so we just want to make sure that we can, you know, make accommodations to make the stay as enjoyable as possible. So
it's June 7th for this July.
oh, June 7th. Oh, okay, sorry, June 7th. If you're online, the correction there is June 7th for those early, the July early bird deadline and the t-shirt deadline. All right, so when you come out to camp, we have the check-in procedure. So you can come out that Friday and you can actually check in right after the lunch hour. So you can come out. I know from what I've heard, a lot of campers don't always come out until maybe a little later in the day, maybe between like 3 and 4, but you're more than welcome to come out. You can get your swim test done, get all checked in and set up. You can walk around camp, check things out, not a problem. At 4:30 though, we will have a leaders meeting in the pavilion. So we encourage all leaders at least, or if any parents want to come tonight, you're more than welcome to meet up there. And then at 5 o'clock, if you didn't do your swim test already, you can get that done, but we'll also have some fun, just like afternoon activities kind of going on out front before we go in for dinner. And then at 5:40, we will meet at the flagpole, and then we'll go through our emergency procedures, any other rules for camp. And then at 6 o'clock, we will go into supper. And then after dinner, then we get to have a campfire. So here's some online resources, just some quick screenshots if you haven't checked it out already. So this would be that map.csa page. So again, like I talked about, if you need to fill out a campership form, still, this would be where you'd go as well. So we have the camping tab at the top of our website, and then that brings down a drop-down box, and you see Cub Scout camping, and then we would be looking at overnight resident camp. So you click on that, and then it should bring up a page looking similar to this. So this will have a lot of resources. It'll have digital copies, such as what you have here today. So the class schedule, parent leader guide, some other information as well if you need to check it out. And then it'll have some videos and information there too as well. Let's see. And that should say 2019, but this will be updated since we have our schedule now. But you can also find on here a map of camp, which is kind of useful. You'll see our special needs dietary request form. That pre-camp swim check form is on this page as well. Medical forms, and then the National Summertime Pack Award will be on here as well. So you can pull a copy of that. And then if anyone needs a refund request form, those are on here as well. And I want to pull up though some pictures of camp since we aren't out there today. So we can at least see that. Little spaces.
2018 summer camp. You pick whatever or one of the
Okay.
photos.
Okay, so you can kind of see, so let me make this even bigger. So here you can kind of see, so we do, it is tent camping when you come out to Little Sioux, so you'll want to be prepared for that. We will break down every area, as you can kind of see here. So after you get checked in, you'll be put in, you can kind of choose the spot that you want to be in, but you'll be obviously with other dens similar to yourself. So here's kind of our tiger area, as you can see there. If this works, yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, kind of another view of camp. You can see all the tents set up there. So here's the flagpole. Like I mentioned, we'll gather there that first night. So then you can kind of see I believe that's the dining hall, right? Yeah, the pavilion. Okay. So there's a pavilion where we'll have our meals right behind there. Pavilion. All right, here is the stage where we will have campfires, so you can kind of get a good view of that.
There's a lakefront folder, or you can go to customers.
Okay.
You have a variety of other areas.
Okay, and we do offer a trading post out at camp as well. So for any, I know for a lot of the campers, even at Cedars, that's a big highlight for them. So when you do come out to camp, be sure to give your Cub Scout a few dollars there so they can go check that out. They'll have those opportunities, especially during the free times and before and after meals are served. Okay, perfect. There's a lakefront picture. All right, so you can kind of see like our new docks there. I think those were put in a few years ago. You see some of the other campers out in canoes. Yeah, there's a good, better picture there. Cannonball. All right, shooting range. So you can see here the scouts using the BB guns. And then our climbing wall. Campfire. This will be kind of like our nature area. Another good shot there. So happy to answer any questions. For those that don't know Christina, she's our director of camping for the council. So I'm happy to answer questions and make sure the experience is enjoyable for everybody. I think it'll be a good summer. Like I said, it'll be my real true first one out there, but a lot of our staff members are extremely excited to come back out there. So we have a lot of returning staff members, and so they're pumped to get going. So I think it'll be really, really good. Does anybody have any questions? I think that I can help with this time. Okay. One thing we are opening up, since you guys are here for the parent leader meeting, and for those that are online as well, you have the first opportunity to go in and select your classes before everybody else. So we will open that up to you today, and then you can go in there and make your class selections. So kind of a nice perk today. But, yeah, feel free. We'll be hanging out here still. We have a few of the volunteers in the back here from our shooting sports area. So if you want to chat with them as well, unless you guys have anything you want to add in at all. No? Okay, but they'll be here as well. We have lots of donuts and fruit in the back too, so feel free to grab more of that if you'd like. And we look forward to seeing everybody at camp this summer. Thanks. Oh, yep. Nope, don't let us through the screen. Okay.